What's up everyone, we're going to be going through the best WNBA player props on PrizePicks today. Now I did want to show you the results from yesterday's picks from my exclusive Discord group, and as you guys see we actually got 22 picks correct, which was absolutely insane. Now a lot of you comment wanting to see how many I got wrong, and I thought I'd show you in today's video. We only got one pick wrong and got 22 right, which is a 98% win rate. Yes guys, you heard that right, 98% win rate. So we're on a huge hot streak, but if you want to get a 98% win rate and get 22 picks right like me, win more bets and receive the best picks from some of the best bettors in the world for less than a cup of coffee, you can access the exclusive Discord or meet some of the best sport bettors in the game by joining my Patreon. Should be a link down below in the description. Once you join, you'll have complete access to the Discord and can start winning more bets today. So make sure to join my Patreon using the link in the description. And here's one of our members who just signed up and won himself $2,186 just yesterday, and another member who won $700 for the 6th day in a row since joining my Discord. So guys, if you want to win big money like our members, the link will be in the description, so go join the Patreon to have access to the Discord group, and I will be continuing to upload every single day on this channel the best bets and props, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss my daily uploads. So quick shout out to Barbara Kevin who said put 200 on it, pray for me brother, so shouts out to him, and shouts out to Keon Carter 8059 who spammed up the eyes emoji. So shouts out to them, and if you do want to win a shout out in the next video, all you have to do is comment down below in this video and like it, and you can be in the running to win a shout out in the next one. Alright, so let's get straight into the first pick, and when it comes to these picks, I'm not saying to chuck all of them into a parlay and hope for the best. Pick and choose the ones that you like and the ones that work best for you. So the first pick we're going to be talking about is none other than Camila Cardoso, and this one is for 8.5 rebounds, and this one is for less. Now looking at Camila, we actually have seen her go on the under in 3 out of the last 5 games. Now looking at those 5 games, you see on June 25th, faced off against LA Sparks, had 7 rebounds there. July 10th, faced off against Dallas Wings, had 4 rebounds. Then July 13th faced off against Minnesota, had 15 rebounds. July 15th after that faced off against Minnesota again, had 6 rebounds, and then July 17th faced off against Atlanta and had 11 rebounds there. So we have seen her go on the under in 3 out of the last 5 games, and what we also do see is that her average over the last 5 is 8.6. So it is slightly above this line, but nothing really too crazy. Now looking at Chicago Sky, we do know that they have themselves another matchup against Minnesota Lynx. Now we have seen Camila face off against them already twice in the last 5 games, so this is going to be a 3rd time, but looking at where both of these teams do rank, we do see starting off with Chicago, we see them actually rank 11th in the WNBA. They have a record of 7 wins and 15 losses. That's a 31.8% win percentage. And on top of that, they are 4-6 from home, 3-9 from away, and are currently on a 2-game losing streak. Now, on the other side of things, we also do see that they face off against Minnesota Lynx. Now, looking at that matchup against Minnesota Lynx, we do actually see, when it comes to their matchup, we do see that Lynx rank 1st in the WNBA, but also rank 1st in the Western Conference. They have a record of 20 wins, 4 losses. That's an 83.3% win percentage, 12-0 from home, 8-4 from away, and are currently on a 2-game win streak. So it's definitely been pretty good for Minnesota Lynx. Now, looking at where Lynx do actually rank defensively, they actually do rank when it comes to rebounds allowed, they do rank 8th. So they rank 8th when it comes to rebounds allowed, so they are a little bit on the lower side, but the reason why we do like the under for this situation here is that when we look at Camila, we actually do see that she is a center, and Minnesota Lynx actually do a fantastic job at restricting rebounds to the center position, and for that reason we do very much like the under for this situation here. We definitely are expecting her to go on the under. Now, we did see them face off against Minnesota twice already. One of the games she went on the over, the other game she went on the under. So coming into this next one, we do still like the under, as we are expecting, the same sort of outcome as her matchup on July 15th. So for that reason, we do very much like the under for this one. Now, looking at what the bookies are saying, bookies also have our favorite for the under as well. So that works out in our favor there. So for that reason, keep an eye out for Camila Cardoso coming into this one. So Camila, 8.5 rebounds for less, I think is a fantastic pick. Now getting to the next one, we're going to be talking about Jackie Young. So Jackie Young, great player for the Las Vegas Aces, and this one is a fantastic one. 4 points for 14.5, and this one is for less. Now Jackie Young, great player, but we have actually seen her go on the under in 3 out of the last 5 games. Looking at those 5 games, see on July 9th, faced off against New York Liberty, had 19 points there. July 11th, faced off against Washington, had 10 points. Then July 13th, faced off against Golden State Valkyries, had 30 points. July 17th, faced off against Dallas, had 2 points. Then on July 20th, we did see the All-Star game. Now, we won't actually count that because All-Star game is definitely a little bit different. So technically, she has gone on the under in 2 out of the 4 games. But, still looking into this one, we do know that her average over the last 5 is 12.2. Now, we do know Las Vegas Aces face off against Atlanta Dream. Now, this is definitely going to be an exciting game, but looking at where both of these teams do rank, we do know that the Aces currently rank 8th in the WNBA. They actually rank 4th in the Western Conference with a record of 11 wins, 11 losses. That's a 50% win percentage, and they also are 6-4 from home, 5-7 from away, and are currently on a 2-game win streak. Now, they face off against none other than Atlanta, and Atlanta do rank actually 5th in the WNBA, but they rank 2nd in the Eastern Conference. Now, they have a record of 13 wins, 9 losses. That's a 59.1% win percentage. They're also 8-3 from home, 5-6 from away, and are currently on a 1-game win streak. So it's definitely been interesting there. Now, coming into this next one, we do know Jackie Young has had some pretty decent games, but looking at where Atlanta Dream do rank when it comes to points, we do know that Atlanta Dream do rank 4th. So they're a very great ranking team when it comes to restricting points, and they also do a fantastic job at restricting points to the guard position, which is what Jackie Young is. That's another big reason why we do very much like the under for this situation here. So we definitely are expecting someone like Jackie Young to go on the under in this situation here. We definitely have seen her, go on the under, especially against tougher defensive teams, and that's why, because of Aces really having a lot of other big scores in this matchup, we could see Jackie's sort of usage rate in the scoring department really diminish coming into this game. So for that reason, keep an eye out for the under for this one. So Jackie Young, 14.5 points for less, I think is a fantastic pick. Now, getting into the next one, we're going to be talking about Rickea Jackson. So, as you all know, Rickea Jackson, great player. And this one is for 13.5 points. And this one actually is for less. Now, looking at Rickea Jackson, we actually have seen her go on the under in 1 out of the last 5 games. Now, looking at those 5 games, we do see a very interesting matchup. We do actually see that July 4th faced off against New York Liberty, had 8 points there. July 6th faced off against Indiana, had 15 points. Then July 11th faced off against Minnesota, had 14 points. Then 19 points against none other than Connecticut on July 14th. Then faced off against Washington, had 22 points on July 16th. So we did actually see, Rickea Jackson actually go on the under in 1 out of the last 5 games. And her average over the last 5 is also 15.6. So this one's an interesting one, but coming into this matchup, we do also see that Rickea Jackson, Los Angeles Sparks face off against Washington Mystics. Now, looking at where both of these teams do rank, we do know Los Angeles Sparks do come in at the 10th spot in the WNBA with a record of 8 wins, 14 losses, and that's a 36.4% win percentage. They're 3-8 from home, 5-6 from away, and are currently on a 2-game win streak. Then we also see her face off against Washington Mystics, who do rank 7th in the WNBA and have a record of 11 wins and 11 losses. That's a 50% win percentage. They are 7-3 at home, 4-8 from away, and are currently on a 1-game losing streak. So definitely interesting matchup between both of these teams. Now, looking at where Mystics do rank when it comes to points allowed, we do actually see Mystics rank 8th when it comes to points allowed. However, the reason why we do like the under for this situation here is that we are expecting, as Washington Mystics actually do a fantastic job against forwards, we should see Rickea Jackson go on the under here. Now, don't get me wrong, July 16th they did face off against the Mystics, and we did see Rickea actually have 22 points there. She did have a big game, but we are expecting Washington Mystics to make adjustments and to have her go on the under, as they are looking to make that big adjustment coming into this next defensive strategy, coming into this this game. So although, like I've mentioned time and time again, there will be times players beat their probable lines, and that was definitely one of them, but now we should see her come back down to reality and see her go on the under here. When we look at what the bookies are saying, bookies also agree with us there. So keep an eye out for Rakia Jackson for 13.5 points for less. I think is a great pick. All right, so as you all know, I do want to get these picks out to you as soon as possible, but PrizePicks is delayed with some of their lines. So here are a couple of players you should definitely watch out for when their lines drop. So the first player we're going to be talking about is none other than Azurá Stevens. So as you all know, Azurá Stevens is a fantastic player for none other than the Los Angeles Sparks, and she has done a fantastic job so far this season, as she's actually averaged 14.7 points, 8.7 rebounds, 1.9 assists, and 1.5 steals. So she's definitely done a fantastic job there. Now coming into this next matchup, it's definitely going to be an exciting one, but when it comes to Los Angeles Sparks, they are coming back from All-Star break, and Los Angeles Sparks have their next matchup against Washington Mystics. Now looking at where both of these teams are, we do see, starting off with Los Angeles Sparks, we do know that they have done pretty poorly so far this season. They actually ranked 10th, so they have a record of 8 wins, 14 losses. That's a 36.4% win percentage. They are also 3-8 from home, 5-6 from away, and are currently on a 2-game win streak. So Los Angeles Sparks, although they are on a 2-game win streak, they have definitely struggled quite a bit when it comes to the regular season, and they face off against Washington Mystics, who unfortunately do a little bit better, and they actually come in at the 7th spot in the WNBA with a record of 11 wins and 11 losses. Now they have a 7-3 record, 7-3 record, from home, 11-11 record, like I've mentioned, in the regular season, and also have a 50% win percentage. But on top of that, they are also 4-8 from away. Now they are on a 1-game losing streak, so they are definitely looking to try to change that. But coming into this next matchup, Mystics and Sparks, it's definitely going to be an exciting one. And looking at where Mystics do rank defensively, we do actually see that they rank 8th when it comes to points allowed, 4th when it comes to assists allowed, and then rebounds allowed. We also see them rank 1st. So when it comes to Los Angeles Sparks, and specifically Azurá Stevens, we are expecting her to actually go on the under in this situation here. A big reason for that is due to the fact that Sparks, although they do play pretty decent, Mystics are a fantastic team defensively, and we are expecting someone like Azurá actually to go on the under here. Now, when we look at, Washington Mystics, we have actually seen them face off against Sparks recently. However, just getting into the most recent 5 games first against, Azurá Stevens versus other teams, we have seen her face off against New York Liberty recently. She actually had an 89-79 loss with 12 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists there. Then faced off against Indiana with an 89-87 victory with 21 points, 12 rebounds, and 2 assists. Then faced off against Minnesota Lynx, had a 91-82 loss with 6 points, 10 rebounds, 1 assist there. Then faced off against Connecticut with a 92-88 victory with 21 points, 11 rebounds, 1 assist. And faced off against Washington on the 16th and had 15 points, 8 rebounds, and 2 assists. So we actually have seen her face off against Washington Mystics recently. Now, although she did technically go on the over in her points category and also in her assist, coming into this next matchup, we still do like the under for this situation here. As I've mentioned before, when it comes to, the WNBA and just sports in general, there will be times where players beat their lines that they are, more probable to hit. That is definitely going to happen. But since it did happen last time, we are expecting Mystics to make some slight adjustments coming into this next game. Now, another big reason as well is that they are also coming from All-Star break. All-Star break, we tend to see teams and also players perform a little bit worse than usual due to the fact that the break has them a little bit rusty coming into the season. So that's definitely taken into consideration there. So for that reason, we definitely see that being enough, as Mystics are a great defensive team. And we are expecting them to put the pressure on someone like Azurá. So for that reason, keep an eye out for Azurá Stevens for this one. We do very much like the under for her situation here for all 3 categories, whether it's points, rebounds, or assists. Now, getting into the next player, we're going to be talking about Natasha Howard. So, Natasha Howard, as we all know, great player for Indiana Fever, and she's done a fantastic job so far this season, averaging 11.7 points, 6.6 rebounds, 1 assist, and also 1 steal. Now, when it comes to Indiana Fever and also Natasha Howard, we do know that they face off against New York Liberty coming into this game. Now, it's definitely going to be an exciting game, but also looking at this matchup more in depth, we do know, looking at both these teams, Fever, starting off with them, they do actually come in at the 6th spot in the WNBA. They have a record of 12 wins, 11 losses, a 52.2% win percentage. They're also 7-6 from home, 5-5 from away, and are currently on a 1-game losing streak. Now, they do face off against none other than New York Liberty, and New York Liberty have done a very good job because they come in at the 2nd spot in the WNBA, but also come in at the 1st spot in the Eastern Conference. But they have a record of 15 wins and 6 losses, a 71.4% win percentage. And on top of that, they also do have a 10-2 record from home, 5-4 record from away, and are currently on a 3-game win streak. So coming into this next game, looking at where New York Liberty do rank defensively, we do know that Liberty, although they are a great team, they rank 5th when it comes to points allowed. They also rank when it comes to assists allowed, they rank 8th, and then rebounds allowed, we see them rank 12th. So Liberty actually surprisingly do rank really low, even though they are the 2nd best team in the WNBA. We do very much like the over for this situation here. Now, coming into this next matchup, we do know, looking at someone like Natasha Howard, she definitely has a really good usage rate, in all departments. And what we also do see coming into this matchup is that looking at Natasha Howard's last 5 games, you definitely have seen her put on quite a performance at times. We saw her face off against Golden State Valkyries recently, an 80-61 loss. Actually had 4 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 assists there. Then faced off against Atlanta Dream with a 99-82 victory, had 9 points, 7 rebounds, and 0 assists in that matchup. After that, faced off against Dallas Swings on the 14th, had a 102-83 victory with 18 points, 2 rebounds, and 0 assists. Then faced off against Connecticut Sun with an 85-77 victory with 18 points, 13 rebounds, and 0 assists there. Now, after that, saw her face off against New York Liberty with a 98-77 loss, had 8 points, 5 rebounds, and 1 assist there. So, we actually did see Natasha Howard face off against Liberty recently. Now, she didn't really do too well. However, coming into this next game, we are definitely expecting a different outcome. Now, we are expecting Natasha Howard to have herself a little bit of a better game, especially compared to the last matchup against Liberty. And you do also have to remember that she did play restricted minutes on that one. She only played 16 minutes, so definitely not, a lot compared to usual. So we are definitely expecting to see a different side of Natasha Howard coming into this game. As I've mentioned in the past, I always do like to say that coming into these matchups, there will be times where they beat their lines or go against what we are expecting or more probable to happen. And that's what did happen in the last game against Liberty, but we should see that change coming into this matchup. So for that reason, we do very much like the over for this situation here for someone like Natasha Howard. And we are definitely expecting her to take advantage of this New York Liberty team, as although they are a great team, they are a poor team defensively. So for that reason, keep an eye out for Natasha Howard for all 3 categories. Now, getting into the next player, we're going to be talking about Alanna Smith. So, Alanna Smith, as we all know, great player from none other than Minnesota Lynx. Now, she's done a fantastic job, averaging 9.6 points, 5.5 rebounds, 2.8 assists, and 1.1 steal. So, she's definitely done a great job there. Now, coming into this matchup, we do very much like this situation here, as we have seen that, Alanna Smith, Minnesota Lynx face off against Chicago Sky. Now, this is definitely going to be an interesting matchup because looking at both of these teams, starting off with the Lynx, we have seen Minnesota Lynx do come in at the number 1 spot in the WNBA. They have a record of 20 wins, 4 losses, and 83.3% win percentage. They are 12-0 from home, 8-4 from away, and are currently on a 2-game win streak. Now, they face off against Chicago Sky, and Chicago Sky are a little bit on the other side because they actually have a record of 7 wins, 15 losses. That brings them at the 11th spot in the WNBA. They also have a record of 4-6 from home, 3-9 from away, and are currently on a 2-game losing streak. So it's definitely been a bit of a struggle for Chicago Sky. Now, coming into this matchup, we do actually see that Chicago Sky face off against Lynx, but look at Chicago Sky defensively. We do know that they actually rank 10th when it comes to points allowed, 10th when it comes to assists allowed, and then when it comes to rebounds allowed, they actually do rank 5th. So we actually do see that Alanna Smith, when it comes to, points, rebounds, and assists, we are expecting her to do a very good job due to the fact that Sky don't really do too well in all three categories. Now, a big reason for this as well is that when we look at Chicago Sky, they actually do a very poor job at restricting points, rebounds, and assists to the actual, forward position. So we are expecting Alanna Smith to be able to take advantage of this. Now, they have faced off against each other in the last 5 games. We definitely have seen some pretty, mixed sort of results from them. And, because of that, it is definitely something to keep an eye out for. Now, looking at the last 5 games, so talking about more in general, we do see on the 10th face off against Phoenix, actually had a 79-71 loss with 2 points, 9 rebounds, and 1 assist there. Then faced off against LA Sparks with a 91-82 victory, had 15 points, 5 rebounds, 0 assists. Then faced off against Chicago, which is this latest matchup, had an 87-81 loss in that one, and actually had 8 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists. So we did actually see her go over on her assist line there. And then moving on into the next game, which was back-to-back against Chicago, we actually saw her play really well in that one. Had a 91-78 victory. Had 4 points, however, also had 7 rebounds and 5 assists. So we actually did see her go on the over compared to her averages in the rebounding and assist line. Then faced off against Phoenix again, a 79-66 victory, had 11 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists there. So it is definitely interesting to see when we look at Chicago Sky and the matchup against Minnesota Lynx in the past. We have seen Alanna be able to do pretty well in some categories, and other, categories go on the under. Now coming into this next one, especially with the fact that it is going to be back from All-Star break, we are expecting the defense to be slightly less, in tune than usual. And, Chicago Sky were able to get the better of Minnesota Lynx in one of those 2 games recently. However, coming into this next one, we should see the more common result happen, which is Minnesota Lynx absolutely dominating. Lynx have got themselves a number 1 spot, a number 1 position for a reason. So you are expecting them to really come out and play, and especially for someone like Alanna Smith, who does have a decent usage rate in all 3 departments, we definitely are expecting a big game from her. So for that reason, keep an eye out for the over for this situation here for someone like Alanna Smith, whether it's points, rebounds, or assists. So keep an eye out there. Now, getting into the next player, we're going to be talking about Erica Wheeler. Now, Erica Wheeler, great player, as we all know. Now, she has done a fantastic job for Seattle Storm because we've actually seen her average 11.2 points, 3.1 rebounds, 3.6 assists, and 1.1 steals. So we definitely have seen her do a great job there. Now, when it comes to Seattle Storm, we do actually see her face off against Dallas Wings. Now, Dallas Wings and the matchup, it's definitely an interesting one because Seattle Storm, starting off with them, they do come in at the 4th spot in the WNBA with a record of 14 wins and 9 losses. So that's a 60.9% win percentage. They are 8-4 from home, 6-5 from away, and are currently on a 1-game win streak. And they face off against Dallas Wings, where Dallas Wings are in the same conference. However, they rank 12th in the WNBA and last in the Western Conference. And they have a record of 6 wins and 17 losses. That's a 26.1% win percentage. On top of that, they are 4-7 from away, 4-7 from home, and 2-10 from away, and are currently on a 4-game losing streak. So it's definitely been a little bit tough for them. Now, looking at Erica Wheeler coming into this matchup, we do actually see coming into this game, Seattle Storm and Dallas Wings. We do see Dallas real quickly rank 11th in points allowed. They also rank 13th when it comes to assists allowed, and then rebounds allowed. They also do rank 6th. So they rank pretty mid to low tier in all 3 categories, and that's a big reason why we do very much like the over for this situation here. We definitely see someone like Erica Wheeler being able to go on the over due to the fact that Dallas Wings just haven't done a great job defensively, and we are expecting her to be able to take advantage of this, no doubt about it. Now, coming into this matchup, we do actually see her face off over the last 5 games against some pretty interesting teams. So our face off against New York Liberty recently had a 79-70 victory with 5 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists. Then face off against Connecticut off back-to-back games, had a 93-83 loss in that first matchup with 10 points, 1 rebound, and 7 7 assists. Then faced off against Connecticut again with a 79-65 victory with 6 points, 1 rebound, and 5 assists. Then faced off against Washington with a 74-69 loss with 6 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists. Then finished off against Golden State Valkyries with 15 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists there. So it's definitely interesting to see. Now coming into this next matchup, we do very, very much like the, over for this situation here for someone like Erica Wheeler. I don't really think you need to focus on PRA or points, rebounds, or assists. Like, you don't need to focus on anything in particular. I think she definitely has the capability to definitely go in the over in all 3 categories.